2, section 4, we're going to graph geometric sequences. So in order to graph, right, we need x's and we need y values, right? Well, for a geometric sequence, the list of x's, those list, so like this is your first number, this is your second number, your third number, and fourth, fifth, so on, and I think we're going to go to 6. Well, those represent your x's. So what number, the first number represents your first x, second number represents your second x, and so on. So those represent your x's, and then whatever the number is, that represents your y's. So this is your y's, and these are your x's. Okay, so we want to find the pattern first, what we call the common ratio. How do I go from -1 to -2? Well, if I just take -2 and divide it by the previous one, that means I got there by multiplying by 2. So if I multiply by 2, I get -2, multiply that by 2, I get -4, multiply that by 2, and I get -8, multiply that by 2, and I get -16, multiply that, I get -32. So my fifth and sixth x is -16 and -32. So these are all my x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these are all my y's. -1, -2, -4, -8, -16, -32. So I can graph this, and maybe I want to count these are my x's, so maybe I'll count them by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my y's, maybe I'll count since I'm going up by 2, right? I might want to count by maybe 4, 8, 16. Probably want to go something evenly, probably by 4. So 4, 8, 12, maybe 16, 20, right, 24, something like that. Just so I can graph this in here. So at 1, we're at -1. So maybe right there. At 2, we're at -2, so halfway. At 3, we're at -4. And then at 5, we're at -16. Or 4, we're at -8, sorry. And then at 5, we're at -16. And then 32 is not even on the board. So it kind of looks like this, right? Curves. We can kind of see that. That kind of looks like an exponential, right? Because it's repeated multiplication, and that's what exponentials are. So that's why geometric sequence is in this kind of chapter about exponentials. Okay, so that's how you graph them. The list of numbers, those are your y values, and then the first number is your x, your first x. Second number is your x2, and so on.